Alright guys, so after months of promoting his album, Reverance 2, Iayze has finally dropped it, and it kind of sucks to say because I was actually looking forward to this album, but it was painfully mid. So I'm going to explain to you the reaction to this album, what I thought, and where I think Iayze went wrong with all this. Alright, so first off, let's go over what the fans thought. So Gas Baby, who mind you literally has a profile picture of Iayze, said, "This new Iayze not moving me." Someone said, "I still haven't heard this album, is it that bad?" He said, "Just nothing crazy." Another person said, "He fell off. Album was mid, nothing crazy." Okay, that's wild. Two people with your face as their profile picture just said your album was mid. This ain't that peak Iayze no more. Another person said, "Iayze album isn't bad. The songs just sound alike for a majority of it. I think inherently it can't be a good album then. I don't know." 0 for 26. Iayze, stop tarnishing your legacy, dropping BS. You not Eminem. And I'm gonna go over all of this later. 1 out of 26. You trippin'. Float up is hard. Washed since 2022. Iayze is the Fast and Furious franchise, but the underground. Alright, we get it. Basically, Iayze has been dropping the same type of music for a while, and it looks like underground fans are finally fed up. So, first of all, come on bro. All those beefs, and this is what you dropped? I'm disappointed, that's all. Anyways, I'm gonna explain to you why I thought the album was mid, and I'm gonna explain why I agree with these other people. So the first reason why the album was mid is a lot of the songs did sound the same, but not just the same as each other, because if it's something new and they all sound kind of the same, it's not that bad because you're still progressing. It's just they all sounded like something he could have made in 2021. There was absolutely no progression. It was all the same producers, it was all the same flows, it was all the same types of songs. Another thing too, instead of progressing, Iayze went like backwards. Like he has some songs that are like boom bap beats, and if you check out his SoundCloud stuff, he has some songs where he'll hop on like these boom bap beats, and it's cool. I'm sure there's like core fans like it, but for the album, it's like nah, not really. You know what I mean? The other thing too is there just wasn't that much direction for it. Like there were some songs like Walk where you could tell he was just trying to get a TikTok hit off of. It's like, all right, this isn't like a Iayze song, you know what I mean? It's clear he's trying to get like teenage girls to make TikTok dances. It's like, all right, bro, okay, but you know what? I'm not gonna hate on him for trying to play the game, because at the end of the day, that's how you get attention as an artist in the music industry, right? But here's another thing. Someone else said, "You gotta stop making songs on stream. Heard the whole album a month ago, excluding 4 songs." So here's the thing. As an artist, if you're not trying to cater to like a broad audience, you want to at least cater to your core fans. And this is something Iayze, I'm sure, couldn't have predicted. Basically, he streams for like 8 to 10 hours a day, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. He streams a lot. And he basically, you know, since he's on stream so many of his waking hours, he ends up making most of his music on stream. So you gotta think about it. A lot of his core fans have just heard all these songs. Like this isn't a new album to them. They've just heard it all. It's all been screen recorded. It's all been posted to YouTube. So for them, this doesn't really feel like a treat. It just feels like they're re-listening old songs. Then think about it. You're not really doing anything new. And on this very same day, Summers dropped Marble Floors, and Osama-sun and 1AM dropped. Block 40 Spaz dropped. It's crazy that an album that Iayze was promoting for months got overshadowed by it's also pretty hype. Actually, it was really hype. Summers, Marble Floors, really good song by the way. So yeah, I just didn't really see the direction in this album. You know what I mean? Like, I don't really get what he's trying to accomplish. I'm sure his Glazers will love it. I mean, I'm sure they did. Like, this Iayze fan page, and he's cool. His name is Gotti Style 23. Literally said XXX Tentacion would have loved Iayze. Someone said they would have beefed. Reverence 2 still album of the year. Bill Reno, Croak. Come on, bro. And look at the comments. They said, "Just let it go, bro. It's over." Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Like, Iayze definitely could have done better. He does seem like a pretty open artist though, so hopefully he takes the criticism the right way, and next time he does something crazier. I just think that if you drop an album, or first of all, most artists these days, or not most artists, most fans these days don't even listen to albums. Like, there was a Pink Panthers interview, and the interviewer, it was by KTO. The interviewer, Arshawn, asked her, "Yo, what are your favorite albums?" And she was like, "Well, you know, I don't really listen to albums. It's just what songs I like from them." So these days, and by the way, if you listen to Iayze's album, it's very clear that it wasn't one of those albums where there was like a clear theme and everything had the same direction, or sorry, the same like concept, and it was to fit in a certain way, like he has done, I believe, on certain albums in the past. It was literally just a compilation of songs that he threw together. So if you do that, you'd expect him to put together a bunch of songs that you think could pop, but instead they all just kind of sound like literally the same. Another thing as well is this album was distributed by Simple Stupid Records underneath Capitol Records, which is underneath Universal. At least that's what it says on the Spotify imprint. And I believe that's another thing that kind of messed up this drop. If you don't remember, Iayze was like beefing with a bunch of people like 2 or 3 months ago. He was beefing with I forget, he did like that Who'd he beef with on the Song Wars? Honestly, I don't even remember. He beefed with so many people, but he beefed with a couple people just to like get hype and shit, you know. He was beefing with Saya too. I forget who he was beefing on that Song Wars. I literally forget on the Plaquemine Max Song Wars. But around that time, he had quite a bit of buzz around Reverance too. And everyone kind of knew that he was just beefing with people just to get hype for his album. You know, we're not going to knock it. You got to do what you got to do, I guess. And that would have been the perfect time to drop Reverence too. But he didn't. And I believe he didn't because he was having problems with his label. I'm not going to go into all of that. He said some crazy stuff on stream. Instead of dropping him, they just like held him and didn't pay him or something. But I think they worked through it after all these months, and he finally got a deal situated to drop this album. So that definitely killed a lot of the hype as well. The other thing too, this album had like one feature, I think, that wasn't really like a real feature. There's no like underground artists also featured on it. Nothing new for a Jace album. It's mostly solo stuff, but for people to really check this album out, they gotta be like fans of Jace. Another thing as well is Jace does drop a lot on his SoundCloud. Like he'll drop stuff, delete it, he'll drop like little EPs here and there, like I said, like some boom bap stuff. He does his thing, so it's not like he's out here starving his fans. And of course, he's on stream 8 to 10 hours a day, not just showing music, but literally making the music, mixing it, doing whatever. But that leads me into my next point. I think streaming has created certain issues that Jace couldn't have really predicted. Like, we've never seen a rapper become a streamer or try to become a streamer. I still consider him a rapper. He's not like a big streamer or anything. And I think he didn't really realize that, yo, if I become a streamer, because you gotta think, as much as people like hate on the whole aura stuff and be like, oh my god, Cardi's got so much aura, oh, so much aura, like, you know, fans want to feel a little mysteriousness or like a little mystique from these artists. They don't want to, and if they do get some insight on their lives, they want it to be like lore. They don't want to literally see you for 8 to 10 hours. So that definitely kills a lot of like the mystery. And no matter what type of artist you are, that is important, because, you know, it's like the Truman Show, you know, like do you want to, they're not trying to feel like they're watching the Truman Show, you know what I mean? And I feel like by streaming 8 to 10 hours a day, that in and of itself kills so much hype for an album you're about to drop. And then you drop it and it's mid, and I know I didn't give an insane analysis on why it was mid. I just gave you like a short summary. Go check it out. You'll probably agree. It's not going to do you any favors, you know what I mean? I think Jace's strongest, or his biggest strength, is that he has a strong fan base. It's not huge, it's not super small either, but he has a strong core fan base that'll watch his streams, stream his music, do his thing. But I feel like for him to progress, and I feel like at the end of the day, he has interviews where he said, man, I don't want to be mainstream, but come on, bro. Like, you said yourself, you want to feed your family, you want to do well, that's where it's at. And the other thing is, if you stay underground for too long, your future as a Wendy's employee starts to increase. Just kidding. I don't think Jace is gonna, you know. But it's true, you know? I think that streaming has a lot of pros, but this is one of the cons, you know what I mean? Another thing too, Jace fans are just like, a lot of the older Jace fans are kind of like fed up with him, if that makes sense. Like, they don't really care for his antics anymore. His music hasn't really progressed that much. He's literally run out of people to beef with, like, you know what I mean? And when he does, it's getting a smaller and smaller reaction. But that doesn't mean everything's bad for him. You know, Jace is still doing pretty well. Like his Osama Sun song, Goose Creek, that was really smart, perfect. He took total advantage of the whole, you know, leaked old pictures of Osama, made it a TikTok trend, and just blew up. But that's not something that can happen just like that. If you remember, that music video was the first music video to hit like 1 million in a certain amount of time, or like 100K in a certain amount of time, in like 1 or 2 years. It had been a while since Jace had done that. So Jace's career, I'm not gonna say it was on the decline, but he was really hot. Then he snitched, then he lost a lot of steam, and then he just stagnated and slowly was going down, you know? And then I was like, oh, he still got it type of moment, you know? But this album showed that there are issues, there are things, all right, you know, come on, bro. I did like a couple songs like Intergalactical. Hold on, let me pull up my Spotify. It's not Spotify, SoundCloud. This Ain't Normal was cool. Booger Sugar, Ballin'. But will these actually stay in my rotation? Hard to say. I think maybe like 1 or 2. You know what I mean? For the most part though, if this was just a random song, like I'll say it like this. If Jace dropped this project 2 years ago or 3 years ago, unless you were like a really big Jace fan, you wouldn't think much of it, you know? And overall, it was just like all over the place, as I said, which is another big thing. But we already spoke about it. Another thing is that he doesn't really get much promo. I believe Boblam posted about it. Hyperpop Daily didn't post about it. Underground Sound didn't post about it. There was also a picture of him allegedly getting topped. I'm not going to pop the picture up. If you want to find it, you can find it. I don't think that's real. But yeah, not going to lie, I don't think Jace's career is over. And no, I don't think he fell off. But he could have done a lot better on this album. He could have made it a more digestible album by making it maybe 10 to 15 tracks. He could have stuck to a certain theme. He could have made it some sort of progression. He should have tried something new. But like creatively, he just didn't push any boundaries. You know what I mean? And I feel like the worst part about this is that his next album, it'll be much harder for him to gain hype around it because people are gonna think, yo, Reverence 2 wasn't that good. And you gotta also understand, Jace in the past has dropped tons of projects, but he never really hyped them up like this. This is his first time hyping up this project, and it was just like a cluttered mixtape, if I'm being real. But anyways, I'm gonna give this project a 5 out of 10. I don't do these ratings and stuff. I used to do it like way back in the day, but I'm gonna give it like a 5, maybe like a 4. Nothing more than that, you know. Just wasn't impressive. Kind of like a sleeper, I'm not gonna lie. Anyways, thanks for watching. Have a nice day. See you tomorrow. Bye.